Yo, what's good, y'all? It's Six. Welcome back to another tutorial. Today we're gonna be cooking up for 21 Savage and kind of make beats like Metro for him. So kind of in the slower BPM range, but like really dark and hard. But yeah, let's get right into it. We're gonna be in the slower BPM range, like around 105 to 115, only for these Metro, like dark villain, you know, those beats that they've been using in the new album. But normally, usually 21 is around like 140-ish BPM, but today we're gonna go with the lower BPM. Alright, first off, I'm gonna just start off with a piano. If you listen to the songs like blah, emma, lap, bada, bada, back. All those songs have a dark piano, so I suggest getting the Native Instruments Noir piano. This is a really dark sounding piano and it just sounds really nice. Honestly, you're just gonna want to start with the bass note, like the boom. You're gonna want to make 2 octaves of the bass and then turn down the velocity a little bit on the top one and the bottom one. Just duplicate the whole instrument and pattern so that you have your bass, like your deep bass, separated from the main like piano chords, because then you can put like a bass preset on it like this. As you hear, it made it sound way stronger and like, you know, really deep. And then for the main chords, you put something else on it and it makes it sound better. So if you're in FL, to turn on the scale, you're gonna do this. You have to be in the piano roll, then go to this little piano roll options, next to the drop down menu, next to the wrench. Under view, and then you go to scale highlighting, and then I use automatic because I know how, I just know the numbers between notes and stuff. So then when I figure out which key I'm in, the automatic will automatically highlight other notes that are in the key that you're using. But if you don't know the numbers between the notes, just turn on minor or major or to any other of these other ones. These are also like fire too, like Lydian, you know, all these other stuff. And then you have your root notes right here to change from. And then in Ableton, it's hella easy. You just turn on the scale right here and then pick the key and boom, it's highlighted. He honestly just uses chords, then he adds other stuff on top. So this is extremely simple, but this is literally what he does. Look, so it's just the same chord repeated 3 times, and then on this last note, the top note goes up 1, which is the tension notes, these 2 that are right next to each other in the scale. See how every so often there's 2 notes that are right next to each other? Those are tension notes, and that's what you use a lot in dark music. You can even pitch up the middle note to see what it sounds like. This sounds actually way better. Okay, so see how I pitched this one up, right? On this one, I pitched it down because this is the tension note. So it's right below this one. Pitch it to whatever tension note is nearest. Like if you pitch up the middle note, right? And it will sound like this. It catches the whole phrase, because it's like every 4 bars there's the one at the end where it goes down, and it just like creates the transition back into the loop. So creating little transitions like that, you can even add another one that's different than this one so that it's like a little different and it keeps progressing. So now what you're gonna want to do is get some sort of violin. I mean, you don't have to use a violin, but he be using violins a lot, just in the background. And you want to sound really realistic, so either use a sample or use this plugin. It's called Lyrical Violin Phrases. It's so fire. Go get that. It's a Contact Bank by Sound Source. But yeah, they have all these different stuff in here. This is not sponsored, by the way. Then you can control the speed if it doesn't match the right speed. Like, I don't know, it's cool. Like they have you'll see they have a bunch of different phrases inside of. The way you use it is whatever key you're in, you go down to where the violin won't play any notes, so the lowest octave. That's how it will set the key of the phrases to your key, is by setting the root note of these like hella low notes to the root note of the scale. So C, so it's gonna be in minor. The bank that I picked phrases are gonna be in minor. So then once you have your phrases, you just put plugins on it. I have a preset called classical verb, and it's basically like for orchestral type stuff. Like for instance, a violin, like it's classical, right? I have a classical verb for, you know, classical shit. Say presets for stuff, makes it easier. And to make the piano sound better, use RC20 and go, I only use my presets because they're hella fire. I will be dropping these sometime with more, like a whole kit, so stay tuned for that. But for now, I have a piano preset. I mean, you damn near could just copy these settings right here, but add a little bit of Valhalla verb to the piano to give it some more like ambience, you know, give it some more space, some more room. And then low cut it because you have a bass. Now, honestly, all you need is maybe like a pad or like, how about this? We'll add a choir because he be adding like orchestral shit. So I'm gonna go to Balkan Ethnic Orchestra. This shit is insane. You can build, it will say syllables. And this is just for the choir. They have hella other fire ass shit, but if you go to the choir, go to the syllable builder, it will say these phrases or these syllables like do. So it sounds hella crazy. You can control the attack too and release. Just take the same chords as the piano, then pitch it up an octave. Make sure you test if the top notes work though. Not in the range of the VST, pitch it down an octave. Pitch up the root note up an octave maybe. Crazy, but it's extremely loud right now, so gotta turn it down like a lot. Just put the violin verb on this shit and the low cut EQ and it should be good. And then turn it down a lot. So now you got some dark ass shit for 21, right? Just put it all in a loop bus, then put your loop master on it. If you want, I think it makes the sound way better, glues everything together. But you know, it's your choice. I don't do too much with it. I just put some fresh air, tiny bit of reverb, maybe a little bit of imager, and soothe. Soothe is key because it takes out all the painful frequencies like hella transparently. You don't even notice, like it doesn't sound bad. It just takes all the harsh frequencies out. Hella fire. That plugin's crazy. Real quick, arrange it, duplicate it to where you have 5 of these 8-bar things. So started out with maybe all of them, to be honest. Whenever the beat comes in for the first time, he always be dropping everything out. Then he'll have a different instrument come in, like he be using like bells. So we'll add a bell. So I'm gonna use Zenology because they have really good bell sounds. If it's gonna load, you just look up bell, right? They have insane amount of presets. This snowflake one sounds fine. It's simple, but it has that tone to it. And honestly, put this in the intro too. It's subtle, but it's in the background. And then once all the other stuff drops out, you'll be able to hear it more. And then for the second part of the chorus, pitch it up. That way it'll give it variation, and also for the intro, put it as an octave up as well. So that way it'll go back and forth and it won't be the same. And it's good to just have slight variation to keep things interesting. Maybe the choir doesn't come back until the verse, right? And then the violin will drop out. And then the bell can go for the first part of the verse. And then for the second part of the verse, might as well put the low bell back because it's alternating. So then it will go back to the high once it goes to the pre-chorus. Pretty much have everything, except it's different because before you had everything, but this is pitched up an octave, but now this pitched down an octave. So it's just different. You know, each section should be something different because it's got to have variation, and you have to be able to lead people into a chorus, into a verse, into a pre-chorus, you know. But keep everything in mind when you're structuring. And this loop is honestly, it's done. So I'm gonna render this out and then we're gonna hop into FL. All right, so now that you're in FL, you got your melody, you're gonna wanna put it on the BPM and then hit this trim mode just a little bit, and it will automatically trim that little bit of extra audio at the beginning of the, you know how MP3s have that little bit of extra audio? Just trim that with literally by doing a little bit of trim, and it will automatically move sample. After 8 bars, the drums are gonna come in, so cut that and then make the second one unique. Put this on track 2, put the first one, track 1, then this is gonna have an EQ on it. You should make a preset that looks like this, cut at around like 180. First go to these presets, go to 20 plus the 18, cut the top around like 15K-ish, make a little dip at like 3K to take out some pain, and to make room for the vocals. Then make a little dip in the low mids, like if it needs it, but most of the time it does need it because this is making room for the drums. So for loops for drums, that's what I call it. And then I just load it up real quick, and then it's on tracks. Second that this starts playing, it's EQ'd. You get your pattern, place it, make it 8 bars long, then go to your drum kits. Suggest getting exclusive multi-kit. This is fire. Get all the or you can get DB kits too if you're gonna make like Tron, and then also get Max Shooters kits because his shit is fire. And then Rio Leva has a free stash kit. If you just look up Rio Leva free drum kit like on YouTube, it should pop up. It's not exactly Memphis, but it does have kind of that sound, especially on the track Umbrella. Whenever you load up drum samples, make sure you turn loop points off. So for Metro, he uses long 808s. You could use the Metro 808, or you could use just like a long spins. For your 808s, turn off loop points, go to here, boost it, turn the volume down, do a little bit of trim, cut by itself, and then you can do this if you want that envelope mode. So the hi-hats are really simple. They just have some rolls here and there. So the camera went out for a little bit, but basically the hi-hats just have some cool rolls in it, like hella simple. You go up here, change it to 1/2 maybe, do a little roll here, and then zoom in. Honestly, all I did was the 1/2 and then the step, and it sounds like this. Notice how it's it's around the claps. If you do rolls around the claps, it sounds good. And then the second part of this is actually different from the first part. So this little roll versus. And once again, variation. Even in the drums, you want, variation. It's simple, you want the same, you want to keep the rhythm going, but you want a little slight variation, And it's cool to have the kick not hit on every single 808 so that it has like a cool rhythm going back and forth, you know what I mean? Then all you do, delete the pattern on the playlist and then go over to the patterns, split by channel, organize them, put the 808 at the top, whatever you want to do, blah, blah. Hold the top one, hold shift, click the bottom one, then drag it in, drag this all the way out, hold shift and left click over this, like hold shift and then hold left click. You can drag all the way as much as you want and cut something, or you can do right click and then cut ends off of stuff real quick. But and then copy this 1, 2, 3. So now you know, a whole section. The kick is gonna come in on the second part of the chorus. So no kick on the first part, and then same with the verse. And then I'm gonna delete this open hat on the first part of the verse, create like a transition to the verse. Just delete everything halfway, and then delete the 808, and then delete the open hat, and then bring everything back on the second part of the verse. Made this part unique, and then added a little snare transition, deleted the hi-hat right when the snare hit, so that transition to the second part of the verse. Now give it a quick level. Now all the tracks that aren't on tracks, you right click them all and drag them all like this, and then hold Control L. Hold Control L and drag all these down by 6 to give some headroom. Put your master preset on it. Now just duplicate it to where you have 3 choruses, and then delete the last verse. You can keep the last verse if you want, but just for now, just delete it, and then I'm gonna just delete half of this outro and then fade it out. And then also, actually delete this, duplicate the intro, and then fade the intro out. And boom, you have a 21 Savage X Metro Boomin type beat. It's pretty simple. It's actually really simple, and it's just dark. This is more for the slower BPMs. Let me know if you want me to make a tutorial for like his other styles too. Any other ideas you have, just let me know in the comments, and I'll make a video about it. If you really apply the information from this video, you will be making way better sounding quality loops and placement ready like beats, you know what I mean? Because you don't want to overcrowd stuff, you don't want to underdo stuff, you don't want stuff to not be hitting, you know what I mean? You just want to have the balance. But anyway, have a good day, y'all. It's been 6, and peace out, y'all.
6.